The rain hammered relentlessly against the windows of Alex's old Victorian house, each drop a tiny hammer striking glass. The storm had rolled in unexpectedly, draping the evening in shades of gray and casting long, twisted shadows across the wooden floors. Alex sat cross-legged on the threadbare rug of his dimly lit living room, booting up the latest horror game that everyone had been obsessing over. The worn leather couch behind him was occupied by Maya and Liam, their faces illuminated by the cold glow of the screen. "You sure about this?" Alex muttered, adjusting his glasses nervously. Maya flicked a strand of her fiery red hair over her shoulder, her eyes dancing with excitement. "Come on, Alex, don't tell me you're scared," she teased, a playful smirk tugging at her lips. Liam leaned forward, his expression stoic, but his eyes betraying a hint of apprehension. "I've heard weird things about this game," he said quietly. Alex shrugged off a shiver that wasn't from the chill in the air. "Let's just get it over with." As the game loaded, the trio was pulled into a world unnervingly similar to their own. A dilapidated mansion, eerily lifelike down to the peeling wallpaper and creaking floorboards. The objective was simple yet chilling. Capture malevolent spirits using an enchanted camera, each flash trapping a soul within the device. Alex gripped the controller tightly, his palms slick with sweat. The spirits in the game moved with unnatural speed, their whispers slithering into his ears as if they were right beside him. "Did you hear that?" he asked, glancing over his shoulder. Maya rolled her eyes. "It's just sound effects," she assured him, though her fingers drummed nervously on her knee. Liam nodded, but his jaw was clenched tightly. Despite his skepticism, he couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched, not by the game characters, but by something unseen in the room with them. Time seemed to warp as they delved deeper, each level more sinister than the last. The spirits became increasingly hostile, their distorted faces pressing against the screen as if trying to break through. The house groaned as the wind howled outside, and the power flickered. "Maybe we should stop," Alex suggested, his voice barely audible over the game's haunting soundtrack. "Don't be ridiculous," Maya snapped, though her voice wavered. Suddenly, a deafening crash resounded from the kitchen, causing all three to jump. "What the hell was that?" Liam exclaimed, his bravado slipping. "Probably the storm knocking something over," Maya suggested, though she didn't sound convinced. "I'll go check." She stood up, the floorboards creaking beneath her feet as she made her way down the dim hallway. The shadows swallowed her figure, and the silence that followed was almost palpable. Minutes passed, each one stretching out unbearably. "She's taking too long," Alex whispered, his anxiety mounting. "Maybe we should go after her," Liam agreed, concern flashing in his eyes. As they rose to follow, a blood-curdling scream tore through the house. They sprinted towards the sound, hearts pounding in their chests. They found Maya in the kitchen, standing rigid, her face as white as the porcelain dishes shattered around her. The room was a chaotic mess. Drawers yanked open, utensils scattered across the countertops, and the refrigerator doors swinging open and shut as if moved by unseen hands. "It was them," she gasped, her eyes wide with terror. "The ghosts from the game, they're here." Alex felt a cold dread settle in his stomach. "That's impossible," Liam protested weakly. Just then, an icy gust swept through the room, extinguishing the light. Out of the darkness, shadowy figures emerged, their forms glitching between reality and the digital realm. The manifestations grew clearer, a woman with hollow eyes dragging a rusted chain that scraped against the floor. A gaunt man brandishing a butcher knife stained with otherworldly ichor. The air thickened with the stench of decay and ozone, making it hard to breathe. "Run!" Alex shouted, yanking Maya's arm. They stumbled back towards the living room, but every exit seemed to close before them. Doors slammed, windows sealed, and the walls themselves felt alive, pulsating with malevolent energy. "We're trapped," Liam uttered, despair creeping into his voice. Maya clutched a fireplace poker, her knuckles white. "We have to fight," she insisted. But as she swung at an advancing ghost, the weapon passed through it harmlessly, the spirit retaliating with a swipe that sent her sprawling. Physical objects won't work, Alex realized. His mind raced, searching for a solution. If the ghosts had emerged from the game, perhaps that was where they could be defeated. "Back to the game console," he urged. They retreated to the living room, dodging the spirits that flickered in and out of existence around them. Alex grabbed the controller, hands shaking. Navigating the menus frantically, he discovered a hidden feature. A grim inventory of weaponry, designed not just to capture spirits but to eradicate them. "This wasn't here before," he murmured. "Does it matter?" Liam snapped. "Use it." As they selected weapons in the game, a spectral sword, enchanted chains, their counterparts materialized in their hands. The trio engaged in a desperate battle, each swing and thrust disrupting the ghosts' forms. The house shook violently, the line between the digital and physical realms blurring further. Just when it seemed they might succeed, the game glitched severely. The screen distorted, pixels bleeding into the air around them. A deafening roar filled the space as a colossal figure emerged, a fusion of every spirit they'd captured, now united in rage. Alex's courage wavered as he stared into the void-like eyes of the entity. It loomed over them, a tempest of darkness and fury. Their weapons felt insignificant. "We can't win like this," he admitted, despair washing over him. Then a fragment of a forgotten memory surfaced, his grandmother telling him stories of restless souls seeking peace, not destruction. "Maybe we've been going about this all wrong," he said aloud. "What are you talking about?" Maya gasped, barely dodging a swipe from the apparition. "We need to help them move on, not fight them." Summoning every ounce of bravery, Alex stepped forward and spoke into the chaos. "We're sorry for trapping you. We didn't understand." His words seemed to hang in the air, the entity pausing in its assault. Maya and Liam joined in, echoing apologies, their voices trembling but sincere. The monstrous figure began to dissolve, its wrathful visage softening. The oppressive atmosphere lifted, and one by one, the spirits faded into wisps of light that ascended and vanished. The house settled, the storm outside dissipating as dawn's light broke through the clouds. Exhausted, the friends collapsed onto the floor, the weight of the night's terror slowly giving way to relief. The game console powered down, its screen going black save for a final message that scrolled across in ghostly letters. "Thank you for setting us free. Remember us